Welcome back. We just had a disconnection, and we just lost maybe an attempt or two on Lace. And we'll just get back to that fight immediately, and we'll try to continue from there. I don't think we really are set back by too much here in terms of anything we failed to show off. This is likely to be a fairly short segment, since we're actually planning to take off pretty soon after the fight, but we'll see how long it takes to get this down, and we'll see if it's going to give us a natural demarcation point after that. So, since it might take us a couple of attempts to learn this properly anyway, we've been improving steadily. The last thing that I was saying before we were cut off was that we're still just trying to get acclimatized to having the dash available. Kind of like how I was playing Prince of Persia earlier in the year. I got the double jump so late that for a while I had to adjust to the fact that we had it at all, since it was a very late double jump by the standard of the genre. Here, however, we finally have the dash and finally have some lateral movement after plodding through the game for so long. We'll try to push her into the fire as before. Only when we have the opportunity, though, because when she gets a parry, yeah, so she does the counter. If she parries, she counters immediately. We kind of need to do a backdash and get out of there. I think we need to watch her animations carefully to see when she is going to counter, but yeah, if you pull away immediately, then you're okay, as long as you have the room to do so. Out of her range. Get back in. Unfortunately, I've been jumping on top of her a lot, which is a big problem sometimes. Okay. Usually get about 3 swipes after she gets stunned. I always loved rival fights in games like this, though. I mean, Hornets fights were themselves one of the major highlights of the first game, and I assume that, just given how Lace is being set up here, that we'll have many more duels to come. I just get the sense that she's kind of character that fulfills that role. Oh. Accidentally used a projectile there. It's the issue with the Joy-Con controls is I do have some accidental inputs on R sometimes when I mean ZR. It's from the way I hold it. So, you should be aware of that, because we don't want to eat into our resource bank too much. Okay. The flicker pattern is getting much more complex from here. Wow, that was a whiff. That was very unfortunate that we just took a dive off the edge like that. And, nope. Yeah, unfortunately got caught. But you know what? That's it. Right there. First attempt back, actually. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, and she dashes off. Okay. Barloom's welcome. Yeah, too bad we had a disconnection right before that fight, because that actually went quite nicely once we just got to dodge and pat her down. Anyway, thank you for the GG. Yeah, since we just kind of resumed after the disconnection, in the interest of, keeping the segment going just a little bit longer, we'll stay on a bit and try to clear up a little bit more. Probably not too long, though, since we were planning to wind down right there. But let's see what we've unlocked. And if it's the updraft movement, that would be especially nice. Let's see what we've uncovered. Because if we have the ability to ride the updraft, then that gets us back up into Hunter's March quite nicely. And of course, there's quite a lot more into deep docks down here that we should look at. As well as that other bench that we were thinking about revealing. Okay, I guess those were not friends. At least we didn't treat them as such. Here, yeah, we just need to clamber up here. Far fields, that's new. Okay, new zone entirely. Well, we've been covering a pretty good amount of the map so far. Let's see if we can actually move up there any further. Yeah, we should be able to, whoops, as long as we don't spill over every single edge. This is something that we can pop. Let's see. Yeah, it can't come up here yet. Whoop. Taking a few too many hits over there, but that's okay. Oh. Better heal up out of this before we continue. That's okay, we're replenishing enough energy that I can heal up out of this one. Oh, get out. We've got a lower path and upper path. Upper path looks potentially reachable to us. We should try it. Looks like it might be a bit of a plunge, but then we can come back this way, nothing to chop here. I guess we can approach this side. Whoops. Luckily, that took care of that enemy for us. We've got a path up here. Just get rid of this one so we can actually have some room to collect some rosaries in this location. Oh, no. Heal. Oh, didn't expect the backslash over there. Oh, we're not playing this one particularly well. Nope. Think we can still snipe him before we hit a bench? Well, we'll see. Just have to take extra care here, perhaps. I wonder if it essentially resets when it goes back in the ground. No, he doesn't. Okay, good, we got that. Just not a lot of silk to work with. However, we do have an entrance over here. That's interesting. Okay, now we have enough. Should be able to climb in this location, at least. Once we pass it... Oh! And another surprise capture. We managed to get out of that one unscathed, at least. Haven't seen a flea in a while, so... Nice to collect that one. Might as well see what's above, since we haven't mapped out anything in this area yet. Yeah, nice to have some actual aerial movement at last. Well, these ones aren't friends, that's for sure. Let's look at over there. We are pretty far afield from where I originally thought it was going at this point. Bench coming soon, it seems. If we can get a map for this area, that would be great. Ilgrim. You who have held tight to faith have been carried far. This station shall offer a brief rest to those devout. Well, looks like it's been wrecked, so... Do we need to fight for it? I think we do. Unless... Oh, sister, my aching shell is close to breaking. My voice weakens. I can hardly sing a word. I fear the path ahead will be no easier for you, ma'am. You cannot abandon your pilgrimage. You should at least rest well before continuing. But impurities stalk our every step, sister. If we rest too long, they shall catch us. So it is sung. Okay, do we get that bench, though? Or do we need to pay into it? We have rosaries, for once. Before we accidentally lose them all. Let's check in here. At the Pilgrim's Rest. Let's speak first. The climb is agonizing, and even a devout must mind her limits. Oh. I remember Mort, I think. Isn't this a returning character? Or am I confusing it with somebody? Well, we'll figure that out later. I'm impressed to find any with a firm claw upon a weapon that could ascend so far. Indeed, we're lucky to have made it here. Luckier than many others, or perhaps the difference between lucky and unlucky is merely faith. Now, while we rest, shall we make trade? If you have rosaries, I'll take them gladly. So, weighted belts, that's the knockback prevention. I remember that it did rely, on my first run through the original Hollow Knight, on something similar, because I think I was definitely having knockback issues. I don't think we're having that so much with Hornet so far. But, tool pouch. You carry more tools and shards while on the road. We do need to carry more shards, but I don't know that we have a necklace to cash to get up to 220. Memory locket. Oh, we're just a tiny bit short. The expansion there. The expansion is going to be very naturally useful, so... Let's take a look. Yeah, we should collect a bit more than... See what to do about that. I feel like ideally we try to get a map through this area. Oops, something big down below, it seems. Something loud. Okay, that's helpful, potentially, for creating this path, which will go where? Open up. That goes below. And why would we want to do that? Let's see. Whoa. What's that for? Updraft. So eventually we'll want that. Right, okay, no, we had been through here previously. We just created the updraft passage now. Oh, was going to hit that and go up, but we missed it, so. I feel like surely we'll get the updraft power soon then, given how much space we're opening for its future use. Okay, I'd be content to just have a map though, and here we are. Shakura, you look well at home in these wilds. Ushanka, these scorched fields offer many paths and much combat. To leap from vantage upon the red shells or to meet them face front, with rings ready. These are decisions to live for. I am much surprised those soft pilgrims ever safely climbed this scorched and savage place. Okay, yes, we will get the map. And maybe the vendor pin as well. Yeah, let's do that. What is it we were considering buying any other place? Oh yes, the memory locket and such. No, it's better to have more mapping. I don't know if the vendor pins is quite as critical as some of the other ones, but as a mnemonic for later, that does help. Okay, so we see the connections to the deep docks, the connections to the other bench that we saw there as well. We might want to go back for that. We do see another location coming up pretty soon down below, though. That might be useful. Let's go ahead and check that. Because chances are we'll get the ability to ride the updraft sooner rather than later. As some other boss, probably. There's got to be a fight coming soon, right? Because how else are we going to get out of here? Ah, yes, okay, so this was my target. This is where I was trying to go. Now that is a landmark indeed. It just looks so much like the updraft riding power will be imminent. Whoa, okay, got wrecked a little bit. We need to heal up here. Okay. Maybe we can head on up this way. Looks like this can be entered. Wow, look at this. Structure floating up here. We had better rest, but then let's see what's going on at the loom here with the seamstress. Well, aren't you a sight? No, don't tell me. You're as odd as they come. Your poise, your form. Are you hunted, pursued? The Citadel would see a fine prize in you. It is as you say, madam. Veiled bugs brought me to your land. I seek them now for answers. Fierce, too. These are bleak times, but a powerful stray like you could certainly cause some change. Well then, I've no love for that holy caste, and I do worry for this kingdom's ailing state. If you're seeking to settle a score, perhaps I can lend some aid. If you're planning to ascend from these low fields, you'll be needing some lift, and I'm just the bug to help. Head for the caves beyond my home. The bugs within produce a marvelous spine. Flexible, yet strong. Collect your spines, return to me, and I'll soon have your old cloak transformed into something far more buoyant. Well, there's your flotation power coming. And it's going to be quest base. And as nice as it is to have the company, if you hang around too long, those citadel bugs will turn their gaze on me as well. So maybe it isn't based on a boss interaction necessarily, but let's see about who drops to spines. Oh, that's got spines for sure. Can I actually get up to this location? Not quite. We're just a little bit short, but maybe on this side. Spine core. Now, how many spine cores are we looking for? Let's look at 25. Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's get this bit done. I'll try to finish on having a universal power to work with. And yeah, if you just poke the spines themselves, then that's how you can collect the spine cores rather quickly. Take a wall. And that didn't get as much of anything, but that's okay. More rosaries, always helpful. As long as we keep them. Let's see about completing more spines if we can. Over here. That looks ominous. And explosive. Doesn't seem like I can reach that immediately, though. We'll have to see about that. Oop. That was a little more threatening. More bombs. Okay. Maybe a bit of a violent way to go, but that's just what happens in this game. Yes, the more we tap those spines, the more we collect along the way. Gotta be reasonably close, right? Well, 13, okay. Some ways away. You know, we don't need to kill it necessarily. Provoke it. Just let it shoot everything it can. Let everything grow back a bit, perhaps. Oh, that was standing way too close, but that's okay. Important thing is, we got it. Couldn't quite reach. It's alright. We'll go and poke that to open up some space. Open up this passage below, rather. Oh, still spines up here. No, that's just shards, not spines. Escape. We just farm as much of this as we can. Nope. Whoa. Luckily didn't take me down completely. That would have been very unfortunate. These spines are going to ride the updraft up. You need to keep that in mind. Collecting them down here. Bush is updated. Good. Now we could continue. But I think we better get our traversal power together and be content with that instead for now. Because that's going to make the traversal through this entire zone much more flexible anyway. So it makes a certain amount of sense to go back immediately. And also map out a new territory that we've seen over on the right side. Well then, I can tell by the rattling from within your cloak your hunt was a success. If you'll kindly pass over to Spines, I can get to work. So yeah, let's pass over to Spines, and then we should be able to float. And we'll see exactly how this will do that. It should be more than enough. Wait there just a moment, and we'll soon have you soaring up and away from these lowlands. And then we just hold jump to ride it. Okay, that works. This is fine work, seamstress. Your modifications will aid me greatly. You're quite welcome, dear. I have a rare opportunity to practice such intricate sewing, and a warrior sort like you will be able to properly appreciate my additions. Float away now, stray one, and do try not to die. I'd rather not have my hard work go to waste. Alright, we didn't have that other bench up top. We also have this whole segment that we could ride into on the right side. I think maybe we'll just do a quick loop in the zone on the right just to see where we can ride some of the updrafts. We'll talk to her once more before we scurry off. Love to spoil the surprise, but curiosity begged me to ask, do you know why to pursue you, those citadel bugs? No certainty, but I have a strong suspicion. They hunt me for my nature, for the silk produced within my shell. Aha, truth, no doubt. In Farloom, yours is a rare skill, prized beyond measure, to channel one's soul within a thread. Soul and silk, inseparably linked. It is a skill almost lost from Farloom. Those old weavers shared it. They're long dead now. There is not a alive in this kingdom that shares my nature, or some part of it. I've seen silk similar to my own. It snares the shells of those upon the roads. I've seen it wrap them, possess them whole. There is will within that thread, once that seems to come from somewhere above us. Citadel. Good sharp sight you've got. That citadel, all roads towards and all answers waiting, and a long climb up there, my dear. Now it's time you get going. Your style and your silk sure are fine, but stay too long and you'll only be trouble for me. Okay, let's give this a bit of a go first. Yeah, so you can actually do a float even just with a normal jump now, which is very interesting. And then you can use weave it with the air dash. Yes, you can. You can actually just suspend at any time. Very nice, in fact. Gives you quite a bit of distance work too. And look at that animation, just getting to ride that as well. Well, we might as well see what's in the top corner over here. Well, this is a climb back out, but what happens if you blow that up? Then it opens up the vent. Well, this gets you back out. I think I'd rather see what was in the zone to the right first. What were the updraft uses might be a bit more of an optional thing for the moment, and then ride all the way up. Poke this. What do we have here? Bone scroll. I haven't seen those. Relic of Farlooms pass interesting to collectors of historical items. Yeah, the movement feels really quite dynamic now between the dash and float. Really quite smooth to control too, which is nice. Oh, yeah, we fought this one previously. Taking all its rosaries. But we'll take some more. It was this middle section that we wanted to go for. Right, because we needed to get up there somehow. I guess maybe we still don't have a way to do it from the current position here, unless we find an updraft in this section. Not quite seeing it yet, in terms of how we could go about moving there. Oh, whoops, that was a mistake. I'm still getting used to this. Yeah, if you do the air dash, then of course you need to land before you get a second air dash. That's very important to know. Intuitive, but still worth checking. That doesn't give you enough height to get over here, okay. So I think maybe we can't approach that yet, but we'll take a look and try to loop around here to confirm if that really is the case. Since you can move pretty far along on this end. So maybe I can wrap down below. Going back to where we were before. No, it seems like it just wraps around completely. Now there was something in the bottom right that looked like it was potentially some kind of gate. Nope. Well, not yet anyway. Eventually, I feel like that will open up. Whoa. Big guy, are you? Ooh, okay, that's risky. Rather too risky. Yeah, especially now that we don't quite have enough silk to complete this rest away. Heal up. That's okay, we just need to make it back to the bench without incident. And without incident means not running into this guy. Or that one. Oh, this was back up to the rosary section we saw previously. Oop, that was rather too close. This was where we checked the left side previously. This does take you rather conveniently back up. Okay. I think, despite the brevity of the second segment today, just owing to the disconnection earlier, that this is a bit of a natural stopping point for the time being. I think we covered a pretty good amount of ground for what was effectively the first sitting with Hollow Knight Silksong. A lot of things in the back of our minds in terms of areas we wanted to go back to. I said so many things about things we wanted to do back in the Hunter's March, which of course has now opened up significantly when we can ride the updrafts. There was also that bench in that connecting area on the part where the deep docks are joining our current zone, the far fields. That's a top connection that we see right in the middle right now. That was worth going to as well. There was something else that we were trying to unlock earlier with rosaries that we couldn't quite afford yet at the time, but as long as we don't lose everything all in one go, I think we are doing fine. Lots to explore everywhere. So much of the deep docks that we hadn't really poked into yet. Now, of course, we have enough movement that should we go back to Bone Bottom, we should be able to float and dash our way over to whatever is still fogged up in the top left. And so, yeah, this has opened up very significantly all of a sudden, I think, just from the last two reversal abilities that we've acquired. So that's quite promising for whatever we continue with in the next sitting. But I think this will be a pretty natural place to start that from. We'll resume with the seamstress. And, well, it's with extreme reluctance that I put this down for a continuation, hopefully, the next day. But it's been really a wonderful experience so far in all the ways that we absolutely expected as a follow-up to Hollow Knight. It takes a while to get used to some of the diagonal movement, and especially with diagonally spiking your way through all the red bounce platforms that we saw earlier on, but now that we have so much more aerial correction to our movement and so much more speed to work with, both in the air and grounded, I think it's going to be a pretty dynamic experience from here, even more so than we've seen already. We won't be caught out of position on quite so many bosses, at least not yet. But anyway, we're going to finish with a seamstress's song, and until we continue as soon as we are able with more silk, more singing, this will be all for now. Thank you so much for joining me, and until we proceed on to whatever awaits us next in Farloom, have a wonderful time ahead of you with whatever you may be playing or making or watching, or otherwise imbibing. And otherwise, as always, fare thee well.